Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to do my wrap-up of the Manga Love Readathon that was hosted by Shay Geeks Out. I believe it was from February 14th through the 16th. So it started on Valentine's Day and then ran through the weekend. I had a lot of fun reading. I've been in a bit of a reading slump since the beginning of the year, and so I was looking forward to the readathon to try and, read a bit more. I didn't read as much as I was hoping to, but I did get through quite a bit, so I'm just going to get right into it. I started off with volume 12 of Waiting for Spring. I believe that volume 13 is the final volume. I don't know if there's going to be extra stories or something. The author's note at the end made it sound like volume 13 is the final volume, but then that there might be some extra stories afterward, but I'm not sure. But yeah, there was just a lot of progress in this volume because obviously we're coming to the end of the series, and yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was, but it's been so long since volume 11 came out that I was like, where are we in the story? I don't really remember. So a lot of the volume I was just reading trying to like catch up on what I couldn't remember was going on. But decent enough anyway. Then to try and boost, my interest in reading, I picked up a Shuzo Oshimi title, Inside Mari, which I really enjoy. I've read it before, so I know that I enjoy it, and I know that Shuzo Oshimi is a quick read and entertaining. This is a psychological sort of story. Not if you are not interested or if you are easily offended by sexually explicit content, steer clear of this series. But yeah, I really enjoy it. It's a very interesting story. And I also read volume 4. As well as volume 5. And that's all we have at this point. I've had volume 6 and 7 pre-ordered for many, many, many months, and volume 6 still has not released yet. They keep pushing the release date back, so unfortunately, up to volume 5 is all I have. Next up, I started rereading The Flowers of Evil, also Shuzo Oshimi. I was really in the mood for Shuzo Oshimi, and Flowers of Evil was on my list of things I wanted to reread this year. So, yeah, started it off. This, if you don't know, I do have a full series review of this on my channel, and there will be another video coming that is not free of spoilers because I've wanted to discuss this series more in depth for a while now. So I wanted to reread it first before I did that, and there's volume 2 as well. This is the story of Kasuga here, who is in middle school, and he is in love with this girl in his class, and he finds her gym clothes in the classroom when he goes back for something he forgot. He's the only one there, and he starts like sniffing them, and then he hears a noise and gets scared and just steals them. So it's now he has these gym clothes of this girl he really likes, and now he can't give them back because the whole school's in uproar about this pervert who stole her gym clothes, and he can't fess up to it because another classmate of his, Nakamura, which is the girl on volume 1 here, she's a bit of a nutcase, and she saw him steal the gym clothes. So now she's blackmailing him into doing her bidding, basically, and she's quite sadistic. And it's just a tale of these very misguided, very lost middle school kids who are just going through it. Really, really going through it. Yeah, it's a really beautiful story. I really enjoy it. Again, if you are not okay with some more dark themes, especially involving very young, they're like 14 years old, very young people, then I steer clear of it, but it is a really, really good series. And then next, I picked up A Patch of Dreams by Hideji Oda. This is a Ponentmon release that I picked up recently. very, very much enjoyed this. I will have a review of this on my channel sometime soon here. Look at the cute little creatures. They're adorable. Uh, yeah, this is about a girl who keeps dreaming very vividly and starts to lose sight of what's real and what's not. Very good story. Next, I picked up volume 1 of INVU. This is a manhwa title, Korean, about this girl who goes to live with her mom's friend, and because her mom leaves the country, and the mom's friend has this child, who's kind of mysterious, and she's kind of going through figuring out the dynamic of this family she's now living with. They've got a lot of secrets, they've got a lot of issues and drama, and obviously regular high school drama and whatnot. Anyway, it's quite good. I enjoy it. Next up, I read The Strange Tale of Panorama Island by Suehiro Maruo. This is I believe it's an Edogawa Ranpo title. The original story anyway, and then Suehiro Maruo did the manga for it. This was phenomenal. I am so glad I finally have this. I've wanted it forever, and I could not look away. It was so good. Again, full review of this will be coming out. Next, I picked up the second volume of INVU. Same sort of thing, drama, ridiculousness. I don't have any more of it, unfortunately, so that's as far as I can read for now. Next up, I picked up volume 12, I think, 12, yep, of Silver Spoon. Continues to be a very good series. I'm hoping this one isn't too long. It's getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a farm school. They're farming. They're doing agricultural stuff. It's getting to the point now where I'm like, okay, I want to just kind of wrap up the story at this point. But I have no idea how long this one actually is or is supposed to be. Next up, I read the 3-in-1 edition, volume 2 of The Drifting Classroom by Kazuo Umez. Wonderful story. Another very, very compelling title. I love horror manga, and this is one of the originals that kind of inspired a lot of the ones you see today. If you're not reading The Drifting Classroom and you like some of the more classic titles, I don't know what you're doing. This is so good. And honestly, like, it's a 3-in-1. It's a beautiful hardcover by Viz. If you find it on sale, like, it's a really decent price for the amount of content you're getting. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. And then next up, I continued reading The Flowers of Evil, so I went on to volume 3. And 4. The singles now, a lot of them are out of print, but I believe you can still get the omnibus versions that Vertical put out. I'm really glad I got the singles when I did, because I really enjoy them. I love the small form factor that Vertical used to do for a lot of their manga. And I do really like the cover art of the singles. There's volume 7. But yeah, I think I've read The Flowers of Evil maybe like 6 times. It's one of my favorites. The interesting thing, though, that I found was in reading a lot of Shuzo Oshimi's more recent works, his art has very much improved. And so it was quite jarring to start The Flowers of Evil. By the end of it, the art is quite nice. And by that point, I believe he had started Inside Mari by the time he was still kind of in the middle/end of Flowers of Evil. So the art, was similar enough. But at the very beginning of Flowers of Evil, it is very different. You can tell how much he improved his art style over the course of writing this series. So I was quite shocked at the character designs in the beginning of the series, because I'm so used to his more recent artwork that is really, really stunning. And at the time that I read this for the first few times, before I had read really anything else by him, I was blown away by his art, and so, fascinated and really liked it. So it was quite jarring to see art that I was like, oh, that is not what I remembered it being. Um, but anyway, next up, I moved on to Volume 1 of Aqua. This is by Kozue Amano. I found these at the used bookstore in my city, and I know that Tokyopop is coming out with some really gorgeous editions, but I've been hesitant to buy them because I'd never read the series before, and I figured it'd be something I liked. It's like a slice of life. They live on Mars. Earth is still inhabited by people, but Mars has been terraformed so that people can live on it, but it's covered, is it like 99% covered in water or something. So this is Aria. The Aqua's the sequel series, 2 volumes, and then Aria begins. And so this girl moves from Earth to Mars, to Neo Venezia, I think it's called, and it's basically Venice, like a Venice replica. And she wants to become, I think, gondolas in Italy. They call them something else in this series, but she basically wants to become this gondola person who gives tours of Neo Venezia. And so she's training. It's a slice of life. It's really beautiful. The art is absolutely astonishing or astounding. It's just so breathtaking, the whole thing. So I read all these volumes, and I will pick up the rest of the series in those omnibuses because I have up to volume 4 of Aria, so I have 6 volumes of the series in total if you count Aqua. And it's I'm only missing 2 of these single editions because they never finished publishing the whole series, but hopefully they will finish publishing the entire series in those new omnibuses, and so I will pick those up, probably up from where I've left off here, to finish out the series because it is quite good. It was everything I hoped it would be. Nothing disappointed me at all. It's a beautiful slice of life about these girls who are training to be these, they don't call them gondolas, but yeah. And just a beautiful world. What I really enjoy is that it's in, I think it says 2301. So at the time of this, which I believe it was serializing in 2001 in Japan, that's 300 years in the future. And I really enjoyed that it wasn't something stupid like 2052 or something, because, realistically, by 2052, we're not going to have, completely inhabited Mars. But 300 years from now, who's to say? And so I really enjoyed that it's so far in the future, and they reference Earth a lot because the main character is from Earth, and they reference how it's all tech advanced society, and they don't really leave their houses, and everything is so efficient, but it doesn't feel homey. And so when she comes to Mars, it's very different. It's very old-timey, even though it's still futuristic to us. It's very old-timey in the way that they do things, and so it's quite a fascinating, comparison, and I really enjoy it. I will certainly be doing a first impressions of this series at some point soon here, because it definitely deserves some attention, and if people aren't picking up those omnibuses, they absolutely should be. And I'm glad I found these at the used bookstore, because I paid less than one of what those omnibuses cost for these 6 volumes. So now I know I like it. I'm going to continue it. I really enjoyed it. And that is everything that I read. I think it's like 27 volumes or something for the Readathon. Not as many as I was hoping, but more than I've been reading since the start of this year. So thank you to Shay from Shay Geeks Out for hosting this Readathon. As always, I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. If you have any questions about any of the titles I showed, I will probably, if I don't already have videos about them, I will have videos about most of these titles at some point soon on my channel. Yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.